beloved Ascension pioneers, and welcome to my video update about star systems. So in this video I want to give you some analogies and some simple insights into how we really are as souls that travel through different star systems, that we feel certain star lineage in our bloodline, in our DNA, whatever way, beyond just the concept of defining ourselves as a certain race of beings. So as you know, sometimes people like to say, oh hello, I'm a Pleiadian, are you a Pleiadian too? How, I'm an Arcturian. So whatever is popular at that time and whatever we feel a certain affinity to. And in a previous video about this, I shared with you about this really being about soul essences. So as I promised that I will go deeper into this topic, Spirit revealed something to me today, and it's very simple. So a lot of us sometimes need simple analogies to kind of imagine how it is in the spirit world. As you know, the micro, the macro, so how our soul evolves, a lot of times is represented by the structures here in the physical existence. So you know, kind of like we have a school system and we travel through different educations. So Spirit showed me today that traveling through star systems is kind of like picking a major in college. As you know, you come in college, you have all these different subjects that you can choose from. Especially, I think it's this way in the United States. Here it's a bit different. But then towards the choosing, and when you're ready, you choose a certain major. So traveling through star systems is about you not being a certain type of being and only that. It's when your soul travels through these different experiences and it gathers wisdom through knowledge and understanding of it, many times it's very much the same. You choose a specific major. So a certain star system represents a certain mastery. I remember a few years ago when I was doing automatic writing, my higher self shared with me that I'm already master in many other existences, but now I'm also becoming a master of Earth. And this is how it is. Our mastery is always infinite. It's never so much defined. And there's really beautiful understanding when we know this, and there's a beauty to this process that is so deep. So let's say, like I've shared before, you have a specific essence that is very much dominant in your energy signature. That's why somebody would relate to you, wow, you're a Pleiadian. But your journey does not end there. So for me, I very much carry a lot of this Pleiadian energy, and my purpose is related with that as well. And that's why my energy signature speaks a lot through that essence. But it's not that I would ever say that I am a Pleiadian. That's the difference. I and all of us, we're a being of love, of infinite love of Source. That's what we all are. But I don't know if you were reading books from Salvador Kelly and his beautiful and simple explanations on this, how our souls actually choose the journey and how we travel. So when the soul becomes an individualized essence on 7th density, it either chooses to move higher in frequency, so work in higher realms in terms of working that is not, it doesn't include form, okay? So you work with the aspects of creation and illumination, and the other polarized experience is when you choose to move in denser realities and choose to experience worlds and gather knowledge and experience through that, so through experience. And it's kind of like having the same pool, and then, you know, one chooses to go up, one chooses to go down, and yet it's all the same circle. So it's always about bringing these experiences then back to your oversoul. Imagine an oversoul, your monadic presence, being like your team, your study team, okay? So you have a study team, and each of the members of the team, when you have an assignment, usually picks you know, something you're good at specifically, and you say, ooh, I'm very good at math, let me do the calculations. Somebody says, well, I'm very good with advertising, I'm going to do advertising. And somebody else says, I'm going to be the speaker, you know, I'm going to present what we have, and things like this. So this is the individualized aspect that you experience as a soul essence. And yet we exist even beyond our soul. Somebody said to me recently, well, yeah, we are our soul. Yes, and yet we're also beyond just the soul. So our individualized I am presence is like this group. And whenever we experience things, we bring them back to the group. And whether they be positive or negative from the aspect of physical experience, well, not always physical as we know it here on Earth, but still, it's an overall experience. So sometimes people are afraid of having these negative experiences, that they say, oh, I wish I wouldn't have negative experiences, or maybe I did something bad in my past lives. And again, this is a limited perspective, because everything that we experience, it eventually is being brought back into whole. When we're stuck in a certain frequency of duality and separation, we cannot move back and carry this into the oversoul. Oversoul is pure benevolence, is not negative, it cannot be dark, it cannot have anything like that aspected to it. The thing is that when you finally come back to the light, and this is what it's called, physical ascension or ascension in general, is you again remember yourself in this space, in this essence, and you're ready to move that back up, and you're ready to culminate in your certain soul experiences and bring it back to the whole. So that's what Ascension is all about. And the thing is that when you, and there's a lot of souls who have been playing this game like a record, repeating, especially here on Earth, although there was a lot of cosmic dramas, and they're just being mirrored back to one another. And because of this, let's say you cannot move back into the whole. When you're stuck, let's put it in quote unquote, there's a perspective of you being stuck there, and it keeps like a record, keeping on playing, you know, it just keeps playing the same tune over and over again, and you can move forward. And that's what the volunteer souls came now to show, that you know, just pull up, you know, pull yourself up, start a new experience. There's much more to it. But when you come to these terms, like I said, when you break through the separation game, then you can really come back to the whole. And there's a cycle to your soul that has a specific divine remembrance to it, that whether we understand it or not, it's all in divine timing and divine hierarchy, which is just divine ordering of things. If there's anything to say here is, I was having some fun with my friend today, and we were making this joke that we should have like a quiz for people who say, I am Pleiadian, or I am Syrian, I am this and that, and it would be like a simple questionnaire, you know, and everybody who would, the first question would always be, you know, what type of who are you, you know, and people say, I'm a Pleiadian, and oh, you failed the test already, you know. It was just a joke, but I need it. It's very much important for us to really come in terms of understanding why we have a particular essence that is so familiar to us, and to understand why we actually have this remembrance in this physical experience, and how to use it for a purpose, because that's what our purpose is, and that it was what it means to develop your highest potential in this expression. And when a soul has been let's say mastering these levels, and let's say you gather all these different star systems experiences, and let's say you're mastering them in your own way, and then you can become the universal guide for others, because you have culminated not just in a certain particular aspect, but you really have the understanding and how this is all gathered as one. So you understand how this truth of one encompasses all of these realms and experiences together, although they each have their own space of mastery. For example, Earth, as you would call it, a very dualistic experience sometimes, a lot of diversity here, from young experiences in soul to ancient experiences and many different beings here. It's because Earth is kind of like a level to master. With so much diversity, so much difference, can there still be oneness? And this is where a huge expansion happens in our soul. So the denser it is, sometimes the bigger the growth in the soul. And the important thing is that you don't get stuck, quote unquote, in a specific experience and keep repeating it over and over, that you remember your purpose, that you remember your specifics, you remember your individualization, which is your orientation, which is your specifics, which means kind of like when you choose a major and you start developing these skills, wow, you're getting better and better at it. And this is the whole aspect of creation. When we master specifics, we know how to work with them and we know how to use them. So how can you make a masterpiece if you have no understanding of the certain tools you're using? So this is very important. And this is something simple, like a simple analogy Spirit showed me today, and it's much more important to have that understanding and then to just relate with a specific experience, and you think that's it, that's what you are, and you become so attached sometimes to it that your other essences cannot bloom and shine forth as well, because you're simply not accepting them in your reality as well. So important is to be open, to understand what is an oversoul in very simple dynamics, which are presented to you now, kind of like your overall study group, which is always you, bigger parts of you, and you're always in connection, in communication, in correspondence and the specifics to your individualization and how you move out into experiences and the experiences you have had, and how you can assist others in their expansion through what you have experienced and integrated in your being. So this is what I wanted to share for today. And I also wanted to share something else that comes along with it, is a lot of times when souls are starting to remember things and they get a lot into this external information about star systems, and they start to meditate or project themselves out of the body, a lot of times what happens is they overstimulate their third eye area. So I had this in my dream today, somebody talking to me about this. And what happens is when you have an overstimulated third eye, but you don't have the crown and understanding open up, and you haven't brought this wisdom forth in your overall through your heart into your lower chakras, so sometimes you cannot process what you see with your third eye. And because you cannot process it, sometimes it brings you confusion. It makes you feel disoriented, not belonging. You feel confused, you don't feel fully free. Sometimes you can't understand what you're seeing. So this means that you have overstimulated this area. And when this happens, ground yourself, stop feeding yourself with only external information. Trust that Spirit is showing you everything you need to know from within. You're always protected. Your soul will show you as much as you need to know. Stop hunting information. Allow information to come to you externally, internally, whatever way, it's all one. But don't hunt information. Sometimes we overload ourselves, and then sometimes we stimulate this area too much, and it's not in balance with our ovular body, so it cannot circle. And like I said, there's this lack and of really being embodied and feeling your freedom in the body. And you only feel, because you see so much, you're free in other ways, but you're not free in your human form, because you haven't brought all this into integration in your completeness, in your wholeness. So this is something very important, because I see a lot of people are hunting for information and reading a lot, and sometimes they overstimulate themselves this way. And this, again, everything that we overdo is an imbalance. So take care of yourselves, my beloveds. You're always being shown the things that you need to know for your evolution and the evolution of the whole. So I hope you have a beautiful holiday season. As always, so much love, wisdom, and power. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.